Alright, Temur Ramp, last deck of the day. So this deck is looking to get a bunch of mana and then cast Circuitous Route into things like Ravager Wurm, Hydroid Krasis. We've got Incubation Druid as not only an early play, but also another accelerant. We got Growth Chamber Guardian here as a way to dump mana into and also act as an early play. One thing I do wonder almost, I wonder if we have too many payoffs in the deck and maybe not enough cheap removal. There aren't any copies of Shock in our 75, which might be a miss. I think Shock's one of the better removal spells you could be playing right now. I also think Star of Extinction is like really, really good against Sultai. So I might push this around a little bit. There's a lot of anti-control cards in the sideboard, almost too many. I think I want a pile of Shocks in the sideboard. Actually, let's put Shivan Fire in. Shivan Fire is better in a control deck. Leave a couple of fiery cannonades. Actually, I'm just going to put all the Shocks in and not play these cannonades. I'm going to play 5 Shocks. I'm going to play 4 Shivan Fires and an actual Shock. Resource efficiency is probably really important. When is the Jeskai aggro deck being played? That deck is the person that put in the request with the large amounts of bid for that request that be played on March 21st. So that's a future donation for a big one. I think playing red right now and not having a bunch of Shocks or Shivan Fires in your deck is a pretty big mistake just because of how good those efficient removal spells are against things like Mono Blue. Carnival Carnage is visualized. I do not actually. I think Shock is much better than Carnival Carnage. Killing something, killing a thing that has a curiosity on it versus a thing that doesn't is a big deal. We have 2 Banefires in our main deck, LX. So I elected to cut the ones from the sideboard because we have 2 in the main. I agree Banefire should be in our 75, but they're in our main deck. If they don't have another land here, we can kill this Paramander next turn, which would be great. Perfect, so... land. I'm going to go ahead and Lava Coil this. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use this expansion here. Because this way I save my Lava Coil for their next threat. Like, expansion is kind of our payoff with the explosion half, but at the same time, we just want to kind of keep ourselves alive at all costs this matchup, but eventually we'll draw a big payoff. So, I think I just go ahead and root here. There's some gates in this deck, right? Yeah, there's a couple of gates because this gets gates. Hey, NSTV, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Hey, Boz, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me around. You need to remember, Kyle, that everyone is the hero of their own story. So a lot of people who get blocked or get timed out here, and that's again why people make fun of the people by asking for complimentary timeouts. Like, they think that they've done some great strength and like they've had some great atrocity done to them. Are you aware that you start about absolutely every deck I ever see with all right? No, that's just one of my normal speech patterns. So, really hoping to draw Hydroid Krasis here, obviously, because that would draw us into more action. And also, if they have a counterspell, it still does something. It's a real shame this gets countered by Siren Storm Tamer. If you've never played a ramp deck before, what you just witnessed there is just kind of how they go a lot of the time. It's just like, well, we drew a bunch of mana and never hit one of our payoffs, so we died. Floating mana empties from your pool every time you change phases. Yeah, I'm going to be live through the announcement. Maybe we'll pause and restream what they're doing. It happens in 27 minutes, right? We could restream the main Magic channel, probably. I'm gonna trim a couple of these and just leave. That leaves me 9 ramp pieces, probably fine. 4 mana ramp's kind of expensive to get spell pierced. I'm just, you know, the thing that makes me most excited about the London Mulligan is the thing our current Scry Rule Mulligan system does is it encourages us to keep speculative 5 and 6 card hands that are just missing one thing. Whereas with the new Mulligan rule, you'll be more incentivized to mulligan aggressively to things that actually do something instead of just being like, oh, I get an extra look because there's a Scry. That's a very good draw. I mean, anything was an upgrade from doing nothing. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be aggressive here or not. Maybe I am supposed to be aggressive. It's an excellent draw. Even if they don't hit a thought erasure next turn, this Krasis is huge. So, okay, so that's what I'm talking about when I say I'm not sure how aggressive I'm supposed to be. So, the question is, am I the control deck or am I the beatdown in this matchup? And if I think I'm the one that's supposed to be being proactive, then I have been wasting attacks here. I agree. But I'm not sure at a glance, having not played this deck or this matchup before, if I'm supposed to be putting them on the clock or not. Now, the fact that they're missing land drops probably makes it more correct to be putting them on a clock. Since they are stumbling and fumbling here. And if Ravager Wurm, Lava Wurm would probably be a better replacement. Outside of Bizarre in Vintage Dredge, J-Man Dog, I really don't think so. I think especially in formats like Modern, it's just going to let you get to the cards you care about more often on both sides of the table. It's weird. Everybody keeps asking, is this just a Gates deck? Just because, like, that's the only deck they've ever seen this card played in. It's so weird. Like, I don't know that I'd compare this strictly. Like, the Gates deck is also a ramp deck, I guess, but, like, the engine and what this deck is doing is a little bit different. We have different payoffs. Why do Ensnaring Bridge decks get better? Why do Chalice decks get better? I have a better chance of drawing my artifact destruction card to kill your thing now. Leylines do get a lot better, but by that merit, decks that are bad against Leylines get worse, which means those are mostly degenerate decks, right? What am I cutting here? I need 4 cuts. Can I trim Banefire? I genuinely think that the end result of that mulligan, if they implement it, is the main decks that are going to get worse are decks that are unplayable, that are only putting up some results because occasionally people get unlucky very often. That seems fine. Not amazing, but fine. Turn 1 Blood Moon is going to be a problem. Turn 1 Blood Moon's always been a problem in Legacy. I'd be very surprised if Turn 1 Blood Moon became a problem in Modern. My KCI deck is worse. Should we tell him? I don't know if I should be the one to tell him, chat. Can someone please break the news? Can someone please break the news? Bless your heart. Scry thinks his stock is gonna go up. I'm excited to play with that card in Standard if they change. Although, honestly, by the time this rule change happens, Standard will be close to rotating, right? Yikes. Hello, Matthew. Snuggy Pie, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate the quarter veer. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Not having a sweeper effect like Gates Ablaze, or like there were like Naya ramp decks last season that got to play Deafening Clarion and Cleansing Nova, or whatever that card's called. Definitely feels a little awkward here. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. How many lands are in this deck, by the way? 26? Yeah, that makes sense. So, like, here's something you need to think about. Fiery Cannonade would have been a 3-for-1. Both their 2/1s drew cards, so it's not really a 4-1 because you're killing something that drew a card. Star of Extinction's in my deck. That's true. We do have Star. Star is a sweeper, technically speaking. I think Cannonade's not good enough here. I know that last game we got beat up by X1s, but a lot of times their Explorer creatures are bigger than that. I always love when people... That was one of my favorite things about Modern, when people would defend Blood Moon as, like, being a reasonable card. It's like, I get it. You can say you like casting Blood Moon, but let's not pretend Blood Moon's a reasonable Magic card. I guess Fight with Fire is like a pseudo sweeper if we really get going. So we're 2 lands away from just, like, double Fight with Firing them. I guess they could have Negate. I guess this is a little punishing for not getting a crab person and playing it last turn. I could have played a Squadron, second Squadron crab out last turn if I'd have farted right away.
Like I do.
Hey, Richard MTG, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good one. Have you heard about my worm? I said a whoa worm. What worm's the word? I said a worm. I'm gonna hold on to this just in case my opponent, has a finality next turn. I think it's right to kill Vivien rather than put them to 8 here, just in case they have a Negate or 2.
I'll be back, just like before.
Yeah, the Temur Climb deck's really sweet. Kick it. Do 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 do. Yeah, we're gonna restream the announcement on this channel. So I'm gonna pull the Twitch Magic channel up here, and we'll all watch it together. Hopefully we should have time to fit in one more match between now and then. Oozes being in the main board. This actually might not be a terrible Ooze deck, because just like Ooze gives us something to do with our mana. Are we allowed to do that? Yeah. Oh! Oh, I missed lethal. It's fine. I can kill them with this, but I could also have expansion. The cheekier play was expansion their contempt and contempt my thing in response. That was the cheekier play. The cheekier play was copy their spell, have me gain 2 life. And what's going on, James? Thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. Let's play one more here. Hopefully squeak in one more here before we watch the old announcement together. We missed all the style points. Just jamming the expansion for a bunch is bad because they could have a counterspell. Well, I guess if they have a counterspell, they die to my attackers. Listen, all the roads headed in the direction of Rome, and you could pick whichever one you wanted, okay? Haggis McGee, thanks for the Prime support. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright. Are you hungry? I brought you some crab for dinner. You look like a hungry folk. Johnny's looking a little hungry over there. Wow! Have some crab to quench your thirst, huh? That's weird. Usually people don't drink crab, but I'm not one to judge, okay? You do you. You do you. If you're gonna dump $100 into just opening packs, I'd recommend getting Guilds of Ravnica packs. Well... Wait, did they surveil to the top and then miss a land drop? Good, you deserve this, opponent. I really hope they play a Thought Erasure so I can expansion it back at them. Bolas me, baby. Reasoning behind guild packs, because shock lands are really important, and the prizes you get from playing in things currently are the current set packs, so you won't open things from guilds from playing in events. Or like getting ladder packs or stuff like that. The sets with the shock lands, the one you should prioritize filling out, I think. She's dead, Jim. You've killed her. Are you happy with yourself now? It's unfortunate. Hopefully they have like Thief of Sanity and stuff in their decks. These Lava Coils aren't just dead draws. Baby Krasis 2/2 2/2 2/2. Baby Krasis 2/2 2/2 2/2. Baby Krasis 2/2 2/2 2/2 2/2. It's a baby do 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 do. The TLDR for the Ben Stark Twitter thing is that Ben Stark had posted the status and Martin Yuza had retweeted it. saying that the grind to the top 8 slots this season wasn't that bad, and basically people shouldn't be complaining about it. When in reality, it's terrible, and they know it's terrible. That's why we're not having another top 8 grind again. It's top 1,000, and then you play another thing. Speaking of tutus, Grizzly Crab, Grizzly Crab, do 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 do. I mean, it's a 4/4 unless you're feeling hungry. They're cooking my crab. It's a good thing he brought friends. They gonna spend a second card so he doesn't get a friend? Let him get a friend. Let him get a friend. He's just an innocent crab. He just wants a crab friend. Yeah, you have to finish in the top 1,000. You can't just be in the top 1,000 at some point. We're almost out of friends too. Why can't we be friends? We are out of friends. Where are my lands? I have 26 of them. I was really hoping they'd play a counterspell there so I could expansion the crap out of it. Makes me sad that they didn't. Wow! Rude. Rude. Alright, we need a land here, chat. We need huge tracts of land so we can get our wiggly worm into play. Wiggle with it. Wiggle with it. Come on. Come on. Oh, no! Oh, no! Chat, I forgot we had tapped lands. Oh, our cheeky gates. Oh, normally I specify, but I just assumed all of our lands were coming into play tapped at this point. I just assumed all of the lands were untapped. Little did you know, steady as she goes. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. And now, like, they're just gonna flip this Azcanta and I'm gonna die. Oh, Worm can kill flipped Azcanta. Yes, this card just solves all our issues. Okay, chat, listen. Listen, I'm new. Forgive me. Thanks, Steve. $100 if it resolves. Oh gosh, I would love Matthew's money. Matthew's money is my favorite type of money, right after my own. Kamehameha! Holy gosh, that worked. I was not prepared for that to work, chat. I was not prepared for that to work. They can't adapt, chat. They don't have green mana. They could cast it because Hostage Shaker makes their mana of any color. No, he said if the worm resolves. He said if the worm resolves. We're talking about the worm. Alright, so I just let this go. I could have used expansion to fight over this, but it's more important that I use expansion to make my Ravager Wurm resolve, because Worm killing Azcanta is very important next turn. Yeah, I've got some sleeves for you, Michael Lawrence. I have some sleeves you can use, Lawrence. Double erasure one time. Oh god, Essence Scatter would just be backbreaking. Disdainful Stroke would do it too, the old game 1 Disdainful Stroke. Driving in my worm, beep beep. Oh, I forgot BCW sponsors them. Oh no. Oh no. Please work. Please work. Yeah, we're gonna watch. I've got. Oh! Worm! Worm, 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 worm. Do 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 do. Worm, 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 worm. Worm, 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 worm. Beep 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 do do do. They even bricked on their Azcanta activation. They bricked on the Azcanta activation. Into the red zone, little worm. The Ron Burgundy with the Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate it. Is that lethal fight with fire range I smell, chat? Is that lethal fight with fire range I smell? Vodajack, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Nikki B. What up, Nikki B? Oh, yeah. Kick it. Kick it. Whoop. Pew. Got him. Hadouken. Do we even play the match, or should we just go watch the announcement on the main Twitch channel? I think I want to watch the announcement. I don't really care about a match. I don't really care about the match. I'm glad we won the game though. I'm glad we won the game. Through the magic of Pulse Audio, you shall now hear this stream through my stream. For those of you that are just arena and standard players, bear with us. They are announcing something new on the Wizard channel for Modern today, which is Magic's older non-rotating format. And let me mute. Let's mute arena here for 30 seconds. Modern on arena is the announcement. Modern's canceled, new format instead. That's the Watsu we know and love. How much do they milk it beforehand is the question. Like how much? Arena does not have a Linux client. Arena runs very well through Wine though. So I stream both Wine and both Arena and MTGO via Wine.
Hello and welcome to a much anticipated episode of Weekly MTG. Co-host Steve is off this week because I have three special guests to introduce a new product for Modern this week. So let's introduce the guests before we get to talking about this cool new thing. So we've got Matt Nass on the other side of the couch from the MPL. We've got Cassius Marsh in the middle. He's the tall one. Yeah. And then Mark Hagan, who, what's your title?
Principal Product Designer.
Principal Product Designer. And one of the products he principally designed was the one we're going to talk about today. So there's a lot of hype around this set. We've been talking it up for this past month. All everyone knows is that it has to do with Modern. You guys know a little bit more. Yeah, this is a really cool Modern product, and we're going to talk a little bit about it in a second. But first, I want to meet our guests a little bit more because they've got some Modern bona fides that are the reasons that we brought them on the set today. So first up, we have Matt, who you recently gained a lot of notoriety, we'll call it, I guess, for a specific Modern deck. What happened there?
Yeah, so
I conceded to a Grixis deck for this.
Before the Pro Tour, I'd considered playing with a Krark Clan Ironworks deck, and then I saw that Shaheen Sarani did really well with it. He went 7-3 with the list, and so me and a few friends, Sam Pardee, Andrew Beckstrom, all got together and decided we're going to give this deck a try, and we did, and it really impressed us, and it felt like there was some room for improvement as well. So we spent a few weeks just playing tons of it, working on it really hard, making a lot of tweaks and adjustments, and then we brought it out at Grand Prix Phoenix, where I fortunately made the top 8, and then the rest is history.
And then you played it in other Grand Prix and also fortunately made the top 8.
Yeah, so I played it in 5 total Grand Prix, top 8'd 4 of them and won 2 of them.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty crazy run.
And then we banned the card.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
God bless.
Yeah, it was maybe a little bit too good or too frustrating to play against or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, that's going to be the end of my run with the KCI.
Yeah. Now, do you consider yourself a Modern specialist, a combo specialist?
Yeah, I really like combo decks. I try to think of myself as someone who can play anything, but that's definitely my strongest type of deck, the type of deck that I've had the most success with. And Modern in particular, I don't have strong feelings about, but it is a really good place to play that type of deck, and I do really like Modern. Yeah. So Modern specialist, maybe a little too strong,
a good
but
place to
definitely
Modern's a good place to play combo decks.
Cool. And then
strange.
Cash,
what a weird opinion.
A lot of people know you for Commander. You've been on the Command Zone and played with Jimmy and Josh. But Modern was kind of what got you back into Magic, wasn't it?
Yeah, so when I went to college, I stopped playing. I didn't have the time really and the money, the resources to really play the game much. But it's once I got drafted and I got a little money in my pocket, I slowly started getting into the game. And lucky for me, I got drafted to Seattle. It was a great experience. But the cool part was that, obviously, the game was started here, and so obviously my interests peaked back up, and I got back into it. And Modern was the first thing that really
I had to be in the NFL to play Modern.
And so I had probably like 6-7 decks, Modern decks built that were like, all my builds, and like they were, after certain decks, but they had my own tweaks to them, and like some of them had some cool foils, and I was like super obsessed with playing Modern. I didn't want to play Legacy. I didn't want to play Commander. I was, and that's when I got my card stolen.
Yep.
And the whole, big story. Everybody found out I plays Magic, and yeah. So that's kind of what sparked up my love for Magic again, was Modern. So I got a real nice appreciation for that.
But you started playing Magic when you were pretty young, right?
Yeah, I started when I was 11. I started when I was 11. I just walked past this card store, and they were playing in there, and I was just like sat there and watched for like 30 minutes. My mom tried to get me out of there, and I was like,
how long
go run another errand or something, and I'll be here. And I ended up I think I had $3, and I bought uncommons were like 50 cents or something like that, and I think I had enough to buy like 7 uncommons. And those were my first cards. Like one of them was what's that? It's like a 7/7 6-drop blue creature. It's something Drex.
Visidrix?
Visidrix.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yes.
they've got 10,000 viewers.
Yeah, that was one of my first
milk this
original
for all the
7
coverage
cards.
they want.
And
they got to get the viewers up on the Magic channel,
yeah.
So that way I'm only number 3
then,
for the Twitch watch stats.
What do
you
you
got to
do?
milk the numbers.
Why are you on the show?
That's a good question. Yeah, I'm on the... all of our sets, all of our products have a product architect assigned to them. So that's someone who's comes from our team and kind of helps coordinate and facilitate and kind of help a product or a set be the best it can be. So we're not designing the set. We have like talented designers for that. But we're helping those people kind of interface with the rest of the building, interface with the rest of the world, so that they don't have to worry about production details or the targets of the set or the packaging and those kind of things. We're able to help kind of like air traffic control and coordinate, have a lot of conversations, be kind of a voice for the set overall.
Oh wait,
so that we
are
can
they
go around
changing
the
the
building or around
phases
the
in
world
Magic to
and,
untap, announcing Q&A, and then end step?
advocate
We're
or help position the set
rebranding the
or the
turn
product,
cycle in Magic.
to help it be the best it can be.
Okay, very cool. So we're not going to make you guys wait a ton longer. I know what you're all here for.
Give it to me.
We're not gonna drag this out. I wanted you to know who our guests were, why they were here, and why they're pretty excited about this product. So we're gonna say the name in a second, but we've already talked a little bit about this month, the fact that this is what we're calling an innovation product. So Mark, talk a little bit about what that means first to kind of set the stage for what this is.
Yeah, so we have a category of products which we call our innovation sets. Historically, these are things like Battle Bond or Conspiracy. And so traditionally, these are booster releases. You can draft with them, you can play with them, but they're allowed to kind of go in their own direction. They're kind of able to be a little bit quirky. So you can think of something like Conspiracy or Battle Bond as my examples. Those cards, those sets weren't standard legal. They didn't need to follow the kind of like narrative story arc we were trying to tell with the rest of our sets, or the same continuity, or even the same kind of complexity targets. Kind of all bets are off when we're doing something like one of those sets. Yeah. And so it's just a way to kind of create a product and an environment that you can draft with, but it just can accomplish its own goals, whether that is draft forward or two-headed giant or something different. So that's our conspiracy. That's our innovation line. This product specifically today actually came out of our innovation jam. So that's a thing we do every year. We take a week, and the whole department, we clear our schedules, we cancel our meetings, and we just take a week. We encourage everyone to group into teams and just kind of explore for a week.
Okay.
And so the teams don't need to worry about all the details or exactly what this would look like in print or when it would come out, any of that. And instead, they're just like, let's spend a week sketching, kind of like brainstorming and exploring things that seem interesting. So last year we had a jam, and a team had an idea, and
I'm sorry, you call these innovation jams?
Yeah, there's a lot of.
That's tight. I like that.
Okay. I've actually never heard that.
I wonder if they ever have innovation jelly.
You can come to next
I've
year.
heard of
and
game
get
jams.
Innovation
jam.
jelly.
Okay.
Innovation jam.
Same idea.
Okay.
So yeah, so last year a team had an idea, which frankly at the beginning seemed like a long shot. It was a very quirky idea. There was a lot of kind of like challenges that we raised immediately, but they spent a week working on this thing, kind of crafting it out and kind of putting together a prototype essentially. And by the end of the week, we looked at this thing and we're like, they're onto something. Like, this is more than just a fun idea. Like, this is a good idea. Yeah. And so we said, let's do it. Let's take this idea and let's slot it into the kind of innovation slot. We thought maybe this is our next Conspiracy. This is our next kind of Battle Bond release. And so that's how it was born. Since then, I'll say, even from the beginning, they started. A team was assembled, and we kind of like put it through the regular steps that a set goes through, and this thing just kept growing. Like, the team would show it around the building, and people would get really excited. And we would start thinking like about ideas this could envelop or directions it could go, and we started getting really excited. And so it's kind of been the story of this set. It's just like over time, from day one till now,
slow play?
it's just like grown and grown and grown, and like kind of pushed into some interesting new design spaces and opportunities. And so we're left with this thing, which yes, it's in our innovation line. It has that kind of the kind of quirky, offbeat kind of seed that something like a Conspiracy was born out of, but it's then kind of grown into something which is bigger and more impactful and more kind of robust than, frankly, we were expecting at the beginning. So it's kind of a best of both worlds, and it's a super exciting place to end with this thing. So
okay, we're gonna stop being vague. We're gonna tell you what the thing is. I promise. It's happening right now. Cassius, why don't you introduce us? What's the name of the set?
So the name of the set is Modern Horizons, which I think, personally, is just a great name. You know, it sounds right. It comes off the tongue real nice.
Good.
So.
Yeah. Modern Horizons.
Give us
Mark,
new
tell
information.
us what this set is, because there's a lot. You look at that. Obviously, it has to do with modern. Horizons kind of looks off into the distance, but you know, it's also just kind of a cool name, like Ash said. Yeah. But what actually is this set?
Yeah, what is this set? So the headline here is this set skips standard and goes straight to modern. That's the headline. So
it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's cool, right? It's like, this is the kind of thing where we've people have asked about it for a long time. We've thought about this for a long time. There's a bunch of challenges that until now, we have not yet kind of broken through. But here we're doing it. So this set goes, it just jumps the line.
You don't have to worry about putting cards that are too broken into standard.
Right.
They can just skip into where they're meant to be. That's
Exactly.
Well, and we've talked about that a lot in various different places. That we really like this
Ponder
card
is back,
for
yeah,
modern when we were designing
Right.
it, but it didn't work in standard, and so we shelved it or we changed
Right.
it or something like that. And this set has none of those restrictions.
Exactly. And yeah, with a traditional standard set, you know, a few can kind of make it
like
through. And
Gerrymander,
like I
or
wonder,
Right.
Wilderness Reclamation, maybe.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
Like,
You can kind of count them on one hand.
Right.
I
yeah,
wonder which
5 a set
card's
or
gonna
so.
make it through.
Yeah.
Right. Who will be the lucky winner? Well, this set is just, there's a lot of those in this, right? Because
Yeah.
we didn't have to kind of play by the, we didn't have to be so cautious and kind of conservative because we don't have to worry about breaking standard. We're going to skip that entirely.
Yeah. If it's too broken, you can just ban it, right?
There you go.
No. No more bans,
No.
please.
Maybe after Matt gets his hands on something. So what are we looking at with reprints, new cards?
Yep.
What is the makeup of this set?
So this set has a bunch of new cards. So these are brand new cards, new designs, never before seen, and they will appear here. So they will enter Modern that way. So the set has a lot of those. Additionally, the set does have reprints, but with the exception of some basic lands, which are of course already in Modern, the reprints here are also new to Modern.
Okay. So
So-
these are like legacy and vintage legal cards. We're not talking vintage level, power level.
That's
We're just talking about cards that are old, basically, and were never printed in a modern legal set.
Exactly. Yes.
They're all older
God, I
than
hope
8th
they
edition
obliterate this
American,
format with
wherever the
Wasteland.
Modern cutoff is.
Okay.
Exactly. But, so we've taken, we've
That would be
selected
so
some
great.
cards, and we're reprinting them here. But then, of course, by printing them in this set, it puts them into Modern,
Right.
and so that's the deal. So again, all the cards here, again, with the exception of some basic lands, don't worry about those. But all the other cards are either new because we're printing them here for the first time,
Right.
or they're new to Modern because those are the reprints. So this is not a traditional Masters style kind of reprint, Modern reprint-driven product, the way that our Masters sets have been. This is a very different beast, a very different approach to reprints, and a very different approach, of course, with the addition of new cards.
And this is a lot to unpack, and I'm seeing a lot in chat about show cards, show cards. We are going to do that. I'm going to tease you a little bit more. I've got to hold some things back. We are going to show some cards, but let's talk a little bit more about the set details.
So this is a booster set. This is will be available in draftable boosters. This is a fantastic draft environment. That was definitely part of what we're building here. So this is a great set to draft. And yeah, there's not Planeswalker decks or any of that stuff, but this is some amazing boosters to crack.
Okay?
Should I give them the date?
Yeah, give him the date.
So this release is June 14th. So June 14th is the release.
That's close to my birthday.
Good. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Cash.
Well, I'll send you a box.
That was planned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing was, as I said, we're so excited about this that we're going to go ahead and do a pre-release. So there will be a pre-release weekend, June 8th and 9th.
That's
and like many things in this set, we're doing things a little bit different than usual. We kind of like rewrote. So this is actually going to be a draft pre-release.
Right.
So instead
Is
of
this gonna
sealed,
correspond to
you'll
the
sit
Modern
down
Pro
draft
Tour?
it. Which, like I said, it's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Ton of fun.
You guys
What if
play
they
a
have
lot
the
of
set
pre-releases?
draft for the Modern Pro Tour? That would be sweet.
I do a fair amount.
I play in some.
Modern Mythic Championship, sorry.
I try to play in most of them. Sometimes I'm traveling or something, but yeah, I definitely try and battle.
Would you play
Local.
this pre-release?
It's definitely more appealing. Yeah, for sure. I think I probably would.
I will definitely be doing this pre-release
For your birthday?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, half of the
Oh,
year.
London
I'm in
London is
season,
April.
so
Right.
It's so
pre-release
weird
isn't
that they
really,
didn't
like, an option,
line.
but
Sure.
If it's set, right there, it's perfect. Summertime, I'll be
Great.
ready.
Glad it
See
worked out.
Cash there, yeah. So there's a pre-release. What else do we know about this set?
254 cards, so it's a full-size set. This is not a tiny little selection of cards. This is a big set to draft with. There will be a buy a box promo.
Okay.
So when you go to that pre-release and draft, boxes will be for sale at that time, and we
What
will
if
have a buy
it's
a
an
box promo.
exclusive card that's good in
For
Modern
this
that
set,
you could
again,
only
we're doing
get
things
as
a
the
little,
buy
trying some new
box
stuff out. So
promo?
this buy a box is one of those reprints that I mentioned. So
So
it's not
new to Modern, but an existing card.
exactly. So
Okay.
this is not a new mechanically unique card. It's a card which already exists today, but we have a beautiful new version of it here. So I think people will be thrilled.
Okay,
So
it already
there will be a buy
exists.
box.
That's good.
It's
That's
not
good.
a
It already
mechanically unique
exists.
card. It's a reprint,
Whew.
new to Modern.
Great.
Nice.
And
But the new version won't be playable in
addition to
Modern because
playing,
it's foil, so it'll be
at
marked
your
in
local
your
store,
deck.
this set will release on
It'll
Magic
be beautiful,
Online,
but
so that's
not
going to be the place to
playable.
play to dig into the new Modern that is kind of unlocked.
Yeah.
It's not coming to Arena at launch, but it is on MitGo. And on MitGo, I can give you a little info. The boosters will be $6.99.
On Magic Online.
On Magic Online, these will be $6.99 boosters, so that's what people can expect.
Yep, so just to reiterate that, this is a primarily paper product that is also coming to Magic Online.
$7
not coming to
digital
Arena.
boosters.
Modern doesn't exist on Arena. so it doesn't make a ton of sense
$7
there.
digital
But yeah,
boosters.
truly a paper product that's really pushing for Modern.
Yep.
Great. So let's throw up the recap of all of that for everyone just tuning in. So again, Modern Horizons is a Modern legal set, skipping straight to Standard. It's full of all new cards to Modern. That includes reprint of cards that are not Modern legal. Releases June 14th. There's a pre-release weekend that's Draft, June 8th through 9th. There is a buy-a-box. The buy-a-box is new to Modern, but is a reprint. Will be available in stores and Magic Online. And on Magic Online, the booster price will be $6.99. So, you guys knew about this ahead of time, but what do you guys think of this set so far, before we show you anything?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any cards, but it sounds totally awesome to me. You know, as we were saying, sets generally don't have that big of an impact in Modern. Maybe 5-ish cards can break through and make an impact, because for whatever reason, in the context of Modern, they're more powerful than in the context of Standard. So they're things that can be printed in Standard safely while being powerful in Modern. But the majority of the time, it's tough to do that. And this set, you can just push the boundaries completely. You know, there could be something like a 2-mana 5/5 or 6/6 in this set that would be way too much for Standard, but in Modern, that's kind of on par with the power level you see.
Yeah.
Or like old cards like Counterspell could be in this set, or crazy stuff from before that, you know, has been legacy only for forever. And
They
so,
don't
Is a
actually-
vanilla 2-mana
that does
6/6
not-
no,
it's in
playable
the
in
set.
that?
I'm theorizing completely.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and we're gonna have a little fun guessing session at the end as well. Cash, what do you think?
I'm excited, man. I think you know it's gonna be really cool to see Modern change in a big way. To me, I think it's changed in little ways progressively over time, and I just don't think that there's been a huge splash in Modern lately. And just to see that happen is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited to get back into it and you know, come up with some new deck builds and just, you know, have a lot of fun just sitting at home and deck building and playing with this new set, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah, for your birthday.
It's around my birthday, but I'll definitely, you know, see it as like a birthday gift for all my
yeah.
cases that I'll be picking up.
Yeah.
So, let's give you guys some examples of the types of cards that you're going to see.
MSRP doesn't exist anymore.
Matt and Cash knew about the set before the stream, but they have not seen the cards. We've gone to great lengths to hide the cards, told them to avert their eyes on several occasions.
Painful lengths.
But let's start with the first card. We printed off some oversized cards. They're going to get a first look at them, and then we'll flip them around to the audience, and we'll put up digital versions too. But our producer Sean will be handing the card over to Matt and Cash while they check it.
That art is fire, though. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
This is nice.
Wow. Oh, and that's nuts.
The old backs of Magic cards is incredibly ugly in an inflated size. Oh, the
Once
blue is a
they're
different
done
color.
absorbing that, I guess we'll probably show the audience.
Wow.
They're busy digesting though.
That's like
Holy moly.
really good, bro.
Yeah, this is no joke.
This is a really good card.
Okay, so why don't we show the audience
We flip it.
what you're wowing at?
This card is.
So this is Cabal Therapist. We're going to put a digital version of this up in a second, but we printed off these large cards. We thought we'd use them. There we go. Cabal Therapist. It's a 1/1 with Menace. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, choose a non-land card name, then target player reveals their hand and discards all cards with that name. So, Matt and Cash are over here like whispering to each other about...
Bro, like for the second and third game, like that card is so good.
It's insane.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, Matt, talk a little bit about your initial reaction to this
So
card.
yeah, this is Cabal Therapist who cast Cabal Therapy, which is pretty cute.
Yeah.
Certainly wouldn't want this therapist taking care of me. So yeah, this card seems pretty insane. yeah, there's a lot of sacrifice synergies in Modern. You can go with Lingering Souls. Or,
Buy your blood gas now.
yeah, whatever Mog War Marshal type fodder. I don't know what the best way to use this is. There's a lot of different sacrifice decks that you can go for in Modern. Maybe even some new cards like Judith is close to Modern power level. You could do that with this, but regardless of what you do, this card seems crazy powerful. Because one of the things about Cabal Therapy is it's better the second time you do it, right? The first time you cast Cabal Therapy, you're kind of guessing, and sure you have some context of what they've played or whatever. But the second time you cast it, you know exactly what's in their hand.
Yeah.
So you do this on the first turn, kind of make an educated guess, and then every subsequent turn that you're sacrificing something, you know exactly what they have. You're making a perfect guess, except for the card they drew for the turn. So this card seems like it'll punish slower decks. It'll be really, really solid, and I'm excited to see how people use it.
Okay, Cash, what do you think?
You can
I'm
just
just thinking of
sacrifice
all the ways
itself
that
too.
it can
That's
be
a big
broken,
deal.
man. I just think
just
like
sacrifice itself
when
the
you're
following
playing,
turn?
if you're playing competitively, man, which is always Modern, second and third game, like playing this card, you're gonna have such an advantage. You've probably seen every card in their deck, and so you can actually make a really good guess. Like, I mean, this card, like you said, and then also the second time that you use the ability is just gonna be nuts. It's gonna force people to get rid of the card really early, and then also the menace, being able to swing in, even for that 1 point of damage, because in Modern, 1 point of damage is a lot. It counts. So to have demand 2 blockers is
I'm going to sit through one more spoiler, then we're going to play a little bit more standard.
And I want to give some context for where this card sits in the set. When we were discussing what 2 cards to reveal on this show,
Well, they're only revealing
I had
2,
initially
perfect.
suggested a blue card because I am me.
Of course.
And Mark, what was your reaction?
What spoiler card do
Yeah,
you
so
think they're
let's
going to
hold
give
that one
me,
back.
chat?
We
Think
don't
I'll get a
want to
spoiler card for the
show
set?
the top dog just yet, so
He was like, that's too powerful.
a little too hot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as strong as this card is,
This is not the best card in the set.
It's not.
Oh
It's
my
definitely not the
gosh.
best card. It's top 10 or who knows.
Top 10?
Some maybe. I
There's
don't know.
9 other cards that are as good as this one. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
This set allows us to do a lot of different things and a lot of things that you couldn't possibly see in standard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I'll say to that, like, we thought one of the biggest challenges to solve going into this was, what are our targets? Like, what are we trying to do? Where are we setting our kind of thresholds and our tolerances? We love Modern. Like, we're very happy with so much of where Modern is, and this is not a set about changing Modern or blowing up Modern or fixing Modern, any of that. It's adding to Modern. And so we spent a lot of time and brought in resources and consulted a lot of great minds to really get our heads around what were the safe places to push, what are some of the decks that maybe we could kind of like bring up a level or bring into the conversation, what are just fun dynamics that we think we could add to the ecosystem. But again, we're not trying to like knock off all the top current decks in Modern. We're not trying to blow up or revolutionize the format per se. We're just trying to look around for opportunities in this kind of vast, diverse landscape of Modern and figure out places where we could drop cards like Cabal Therapist and feel confident that it was these were kind of the appropriate level shots to take.
Yep.
Did you guys look at other decks, like top decks in the set, and say like, hey, this card can make the, or maybe a deck that's maybe tier 2 right now, and you think like, oh, this card right here could make that. Did you guys go through that kind of process and like looking at all the different decks and seeing how the cards would influence those already deck builds that are already out there?
Yeah, absolutely. And we had the kind of, we have a future league. We kind of have like a play design testing structure that's usually built for standard. And for this product, we had to kind of build up a second version of that and kind of build up a crew just to think about the landscape, the decks, the card choices, and really analyze the format and kind of deduce where we can take these shots. So, yeah.
Yeah, and this card seems like a perfect example of that, right? Like the Blood Gas, Lingering Souls type of sacrifice decks have existed in Modern for a while, but never really been at the top, and maybe this card will push them there. It seems powerful enough that it could do that.
Right.
Definitely.
now, not everything in this set is a power shot. Not everything is aimed squarely at like blasting Modern open or elevating a deck. You'll note Cabal Therapist is a throwback to Cabal Therapy. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff in this set, and because it's not a standard legal set, because it's not tied to a world, we can do a lot of the stuff like we do in Commander products where we bring back characters.
Yep,
old
absolutely.
characters, we tell old stories, that sort of deal. So that's our next preview card, which powerful, probably not going to warp Modern or change Modern in the way Cabal Therapy might, but a really cool character. If you've been paying attention, you might have some guesses. But let's bring in the next card.
Oh, it's a planeswalker. This is all creatures get flying. Okay, that's kind of really good.
Just let them digest that for a
It's
moment.
a new planeswalker that hasn't been modern legal for. It's Kaya. It's got to be Kaya, right? Is it Kaya? It's got to be Kaya.
To our people listening at
Please be
home
Kaya.
on the
Wow.
podcast version of this, they're very quietly going.
Yep.
I'm trying to think
Yeah,
of
you
like,
gotta-
oh my
you
god,
It
gotta
like,
could be Dak.
takes
It's
a
Dak or
minute
Dak.
to-
So why don't you
Set
flip
in.
it around and show it
Yeah.
to the audience? And we'll put it. So
Oh, it's a new
yeah.
planeswalker.
This is the art that's been gracing this show and over my show this way here the whole time. Sarah the Benevolent. So there have been a lot of people asking for a card version of Sarah for a really long time. So this is her legendary planeswalker. She is a 4-mana, 4 loyalty planeswalker. And of course, her minus ability, -3, make a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying
Yeah,
vigilance.
yeah.
So there's your Sarah Angel. And then for +2, creatures you control with flying get +1/+1 until end of turn. And then -6, her ultimate, you get an emblem with, if you control a creature, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1, reduces it to 1 instead.
Alright,
So
pretty sweet.
the middle ability is Sarah Angel, the bottom ability is Worship on an emblem, and the top ability is basically
Alright. I'm going to wrap up playing a couple more matches with the Temur ramp deck they were playing beforehand. Thanks everyone for hanging out through the announcement. That Planeswalker seems super playable. Like 4 mana, down tick, make a 4/4 that defends itself. Seems good. Seems really sweet. I'm going to be loose and keep this on the play. It doesn't have a ramp on 2, but it gets the Ravager Wurm on 5. Maybe we draw something reasonable in the middle. They said that was their last spoiler, by the way. So if you're thinking about ducking out because you want more spoilers from them, they said they were only spoiling 2 cards there. Which is why we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and play Island on 2 here so that I can hold up Expansion in case they Thought Erasure me, so I can Thought Erasure them back. The artwork is stunning. Quite good. There's a good chance it's not fast enough for Modern. I agree. There's a good chance it's not fast enough for Modern. Concur with that sentiment. You know, honestly, I think I'm just going to go ahead and just keep passing here. Like, they shocked in, so they obviously have a 3-mana counterspell. And I have 6 lands guaranteed, so I think I want to just, like, root with Expansion up to, like, Expansion their counterspell back at them. So one thing you have to realize is that even if cards aren't super playable in Modern from sets like that, cards like Planeswalkers and Angels and Dragons are incredibly popular casual cards. That's why they tend to retain value even when they rotate out of Standard. So that card will be very good in the made-up Modern format that exists in people's minds. Where, like, Modern's this really slow, grindy format. Yeah, it'll be Legacy Legal too.
Ever seen water burn?
So, if I draw an untapped land next turn, I actually get to Explosion and kill their Angrath. I think I just explosion him for 4 anyways. Like, hit a land this turn.
Burn for that.
Wow. There was not a land coming for a little bit there.
No fire, no steel.
That's a biggin. Huh. I guess I just shoot this again. That is bigger than a bread box here. This is only a 5/6 when it fights. Grixis Timmy. Our worm and things that are bigger than worms are kind of a rarity. I think I'm gonna do this for X's 3 this time. I think I need to take Angrath out.
I've weathered tougher storms than you.
Rakdos is here, the show's over. Wow, we actually lost a ton of people. We went back to just playing Magic. That's kind of funny. Fair, I guess. I can Worm plus Lava Coil next turn. I guess that's the line. Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing I brought my backup worm. Alright, well, we're at 2. There's shocks in their deck. We haven't seen a shock yet. The Greater Aura, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Angrath is equally up. Let's get our crab people on the job here. Really would like a Krasis. Krasis would be okay. How many lands do we have? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We've been really bad at drawing Krasis after... Please discard it. Please discard it. Please discard it. Bennett. Bennett. They kept it on top. That's terrifying. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thunk. Easy game, easy life. Easy game, easy life. It wasn't a Krasis, but it was an X spell that would do it a pinch. Canopy's probably okay. They probably have other demons past Rakdos. Mass Manip's probably fine. Fight with Fire seems good as a good way to blow people out. They probably have like Azcant in their deck, huh? So Ravager Wurm's probably fine. I think I'm gonna cut Incubation Druid because it's a ramp spell that they can kill. Let's give this a go. AYD Blackheart, thanks for the Prime support. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I don't think Star is something we want to do. Like, I get that Star kills Rakdos, and Rakdos looked annoying there, but I think Star is, like, not where I want to be in life. I think we're the beatdown in this matchup, and they need to be more controlling. Perfect. Don't need red too early in this matchup, which is nice. Yeah, they said they were only gonna have 2 preview cards earlier. Although I guess I should have left it up. We dropped 400 viewers almost when we switched back to actually playing Magic. I think we're gonna play this for like another half hour or so, and then probably call it a day. We played about a half hour before we started. Want to get done at these, and I think I'm gonna run. We'll probably run long tomorrow, but I want to get done at a decent hour today. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't show a reprint example too, like a Baleful Strix or something like that people have been wanting. Red source, red source. I like when games are over nice and early. Makes it easy. Makes it easy. I want another fight with fire as a way to kill Thief. Yeah, this is probably plenty. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's probably fine. Oh, lordy. I didn't even think about the spoiler season length. They announced it's not coming out till June. So we have to deal with spoilers for March, April, and May. Oh, God. Yikes. Wait. They spoiled 2 cards today and then aren't spoiling anything else for 2... Wait, really? That can't be true. Spoilers start in May. Alright, I'm not the one who makes the decisions. Did they say the only reprints are cards not currently in Modern? That can't be true. So... why else would they need reprinting? Because the cost of Magic cards in Modern is astronomical. The card Scalding Tarn, for example, costs $90 per copy. So they could Ritualist at me here. I think I like putting my other thing into play. Maybe I'm supposed to wait 1 turn. I'm gonna discard the land. Our deck's got a lot of mana in it. Who's ready to die never hitting another land? How much is Noble Hierarch these days? Is Noble Hierarch still almost $100? Their duress is a little late. $60. Yikes. Okay, well, that's a very good draw here. Means unless they have a blocker, we'll be in a great spot. Are they going to release the Modern set on Arena? I don't think so. Unfortunate. I only have 1 blue source, so I can't really do anything here. Great. It's a good hit. I'm gonna go ahead and force a trade here. Probably should have done this earlier. Yeah, maybe Trudon. Maybe, like, the fact that they're gonna shake the format up anyways, they could unban as well. Yeah, I'm incredibly disappointed that... I'm incredibly disappointed that they're not having this set be the set that gets drafted at a PT. This is a real aggressive line. It means if I draw a land next turn, they're dead to the Ravager Wurm that they know about. I just played this creature is the reason it didn't attack. So if we draw an untapped land here, we kill them. Or Banefire. Hey, Frog Hog. Thanks for the 6 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I think I'm going to hold on to the land to discard to the Angrath and just hope to rip another land next turn to kill them with the worm.
No fire, no steel.
Super punished. Hey, Geoff, did I miss it? I totally did. Give me Fire Blast. Stop it. I've heard people ask about price of progress before, too. Just like, yikes, do y'all... Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh! Oh, super punished. It's the third worm, right? There was only one more worm in our deck, right? Yeah, it was the last worm. There was only one more.
No fire, no steel.
Yikes. Please be dead. Please be dead. Dunk. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna use the bathroom really quick when I get back. We're gonna play a couple more matches. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Woo. Yeah, the ladder reset today. Reset this afternoon. In. Play Incubation Druid here, gets it up to double growth spiral next turn. Good. Yeah, some tribal stuff out of a set like Onslaught could be sweet. Alright, so with the Krasis draw, I'm actually just going to go ahead and pass and fart the Incubation Druid this turn. That's rude. Hey, Vision, thanks for the sub-gifty. I appreciate it. When your 26 land deck just can't get there. At least we have a Krasis for 4 next turn. Like, Krasis 4 gets rolling a little bit. Or not. If we draw an untapped land next turn, we can Banefire to kill the Vivien.
Not so much.
which would be nice. Right. So I'm going to do this for 4, so that way Vivien down ticks next turn. And then we'll be able to finish her off with Banefire. So I drew 2 more lands here, so that means next turn I can Banefire for 3 and Root to ramp up a little bit. And then we can play Growth Chamber Guardian out after that and get some 4/4s going. We're probably going to need another payoff, though. Yeah, like they're attacking us to 12 here, and they have 8 power in play. Next turn, we can Banefire the Krasis for 4 and make some 4/4s, so maybe that's good enough. So we have 5, 10 mana total at the moment, which will let us Krasis gain 5, but that's not good enough in the face of a removal spell. We'd really like to draw Fight with Fire. Would be much better than this Banefire here, so we can clean out their board. That is actually the worst draw in our deck, just because we were already going to get more of those. Although I suppose I should just play out 2 2/2s here, so that way I don't die to a single removal spell. Pertinent Pentant Tangent, thank you for the Prime support, I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. The final countdown. Do-do-do-do. 1 Krasis, please. Do-do-do-do. I just want to draw a Hydroid Krasis. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, I guess I just pass. I think I just need to save this as a removal spell. Yeah, I agree, Bros Power. People that want modern prices to be gatekept are real annoying. Would much rather prefer the game be accessible, formats be accessible. So dead to removal regardless of what I kill here, so I'm just gonna kill their highest upside threat. If we can survive 2 turns here, we're in a good spot. Hopefully they just tap out for Krasis this turn, and then we draw a way to kill this Merfolk Branchwalker, and we Vivien shoot the Krasis. We'd love to draw a Krasis for 1,000,000 of our own. Ideally, we want to pick up another blocker or a way to kill this, so that way, and when they draw a single removal spell off of this, we don't just die next turn to the Branchwalker. And it's unfortunate, so we just gotta hope that they brick. I'm gonna play this land out, because if they have a removal spell, they're gonna go for it, so I might as well just, like, have all my lands in play for the following turn. That's not a lethal creature. Okay. Four shots at a Krasis. Let's go. 5 shots at a Krasis. 4 shots at a Krasis.
Meet my newest friend.
Oh, I don't think I have any. I think I'm dead, right? There's only 1 more of these in my deck. There's 0 more in my deck. There's at least 1 more, I think. I'm actually just into the Land War Elf. I'm not going to play the land because maybe they don't attack with everything. With the Krasis drawing them a bunch of cards, they might not throw away all their stuff. Potentially. Rats, they found the line. Star's real good here. Mass Manip's pretty good. This generates advantage. I think I'm supposed to cut my Vivien just because I have such a hard time defending her. Like, because this deck doesn't have a sweeper outside of Star of Extinction, I feel like I have a hard time, like, keeping a card like this on the board. Which feels bad, but, Master Chief, thank you for the Prime support. Like, if you look at other ramp decks, like the Naya deck from last season or the Gates deck this season, like, I really feel like the lack of a real sweeper in this deck really holds it back. How much longer am I streaming today? Like another 10 minutes or so. If this match goes to game 3, it'll probably be the last one. Otherwise, I'll play one more after. And here's something to think about. If they're not reprinting any existing Modern cards that are already expensive in this new set, Modern as a whole, the prices are going to go up because this new set is going to encourage more people to get into Modern for the first time. So if more people come into Modern and none of the existing staples get reprinted, the whole format's going to become more expensive. Yeah, the resub notifications have been weird since their change. These games have just been such an awkward, like, in general, I'm not a huge fan of ramp decks. I definitely prefer more mid-rangey monster-style decks where, like, you're only trying to get to, like, 4 and 5, because games like this are just so awkward, right? Like, I have these ramp spells, but I'm not actually hitting my land drops, so I'm, like, spending mana to hit my land drops, and it just feels really awkward. The mix of lands and spells that you need to hit in order for these decks to work is so specific. Let's try one more here, but I don't think this deck is very reasonable. Feels kind of rough. It's kind of rough. And it's like, do I mulligan a perfectly reasonable hand like this because it doesn't have a ramp piece in it? So like, now, because there aren't ramp pieces in my opening hand, I don't have an ideal start, but I've got, you know, 11 pieces of ramp plus 26 lands in my deck. So like, I don't have ramp in my opener, and now I have, you know, a bunch of mana in my deck that I'm going to be able to flood with. To be fair, Namachill, finding a way to monetize the players that only play their non-rotating formats is a smart thing to do. They need to do that so that way people who aren't touching Standard are still putting money into the machine, basically. This deck kind of feels like it's trying to do similar things to like the Temur Niv deck we played earlier today, or the Temur Control deck that you can find on my website, and it feels like it's doing it kind of awkwardly. There's so much air in this deck. Like, we've had so many games where it's like have so much mana or have too many bombs. Just like kind of typical ramp deck problems, really. And like this game that we're kind of ahead in, like we just played out as the mid-range deck, right? We just like haven't drawn any ramp. We've just cast our spells. Nathaniel, thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. I don't think they explicitly mentioned standard sets, but I imagine they didn't. Yeah, the Temur Niv deck today was sweet. I think it's going to be my deck of the day. I'm going to block here because even if they have Colossus, we still trade. Because our thing will become a 7-4 and we're a 4-4. So just like a good clean 2-for-1 for us. It takes up their turn here as well. Land War Elves. My worm is hungry. Give him the worm. Give him the worm. Yeah, that's a thought in a way too. If we want to just ramp up Expansion Explosion, why don't we just play the Reclamation deck like to power that out? Like, obviously you can't ramp into Ravager Wurms and Krasis playing that build, but you're doing kind of similar things. Alright, you killed him. I don't know exactly what version of the Bio Angels deck I really like as of yet. We tried a couple different things, and I'm not sure I'm locked in on one build I like more than the others is what it comes down to. Sure. So, they're probably playing something aggressive, it seems like. Vivien's probably a little bit medium. You get these Shivan Fires in here as interaction. Banefire's maybe a little slow. I like Fight with Fire as both interaction in the middle, in the intermediary, and a closer at the top end. Let's give this a try. What about just being a Gates deck with Banefire and Fight with Fire? Yeah, maybe. There's also like the Nexus of Gates deck too. I don't know. In general, ramp decks, I think you just need a better sweeper is what it comes down to a lot of the time. Like, even if you look at decks in like Modern, like Tron, they play Oblivion Stone and Ugin, and decks like Gates, the Gates deck plays Gates Ablaze, and the Naya ramp deck from last season plays the 5-mana White Sweeper. Dr. Doom, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Yeah, maybe Arc could help, but the problem with something like Arc is we're a 3-color deck that's like trying to cast, you know, all of our spells consistently, so like missing colors is a big deal. Like Arc doesn't help cast Growth Spiral, for instance. Rendering Me, thanks for the Prime support, welcome. And Sans Seraph, thanks for the 3rd month in a row. Thanks for shipping the Beza Bucks this way, folks. Thanks for keeping me around. Whoop. Yeah, they have to hype it as innovative so that way you're willing to pay a higher sticker price, right? It's funny, too, because, like, their talk about getting rid of Master-style sets really made me think maybe they were going to do away with, like, gouging the prices on it, but apparently that's just not the case. Innovative with the dollar signs, that's great. A plus BH. Nah, they'll never let you purchase singles directly. They make way too much money by having every booster pack be a loot box. It's really funny to me how, like, they've made moves to regulate loot boxes in some countries, but, like, booster packs have existed for decades. I want to find a friend, a crabby friend. Do, 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 do. actually a great draw here. Let's just ramp it up. When you hit a good mix of ramp cards and payoffs, decks like this are real good.
The wilds are my shield.
I am on quite a bit. Wow, did they miss on a Vivien plus? That feels bad. Hey, Joe Dans, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good one.
You can't stop nature.
I like playing out the 2 Growth Chamber Guardians here rather than the Hydroid Krasis, just because Vivien can tick down on my Hydroid Krasis right away. Also, if I draw another land, I can Krasis for 6 and draw 3 cards as opposed to just 2. Well, thanks, Rendering Me. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, so if I kick this, I can kill this and still hold my Fight with Fire to escalate later. So let's do this and then ship this way. LF8 Gaming, Team Zoidberg is a go. Thank you for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back.
Now we're getting started.
We are 2 lands away from a Fight with Fire getting kicked up. Although the way the Vivien's going, this Hydroid Krasis might be useful for us.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
So I can Shivan Fire the Elf and then crack both of these into Vivien. Alternatively, I could just play this as a massive thing. I think I just played this as a massive thing now. Well, X is only 6 here. Because if I draw... Converter mana cost 8. If I draw a land here, I can kick Fight with Fire and clean the board out next turn. If I draw a land, he says... On today's story of 26 lands later...
That can't help you now.
You know what? You know what? And this is... I'm gonna be a liability here for a moment. You know what blows my mind? They have all these MPL streamers going. They just had 10,000 people on watching the main Magic channel. Why didn't they host one of their MPL streamers when they signed off? Like, why wasn't that something that they planned? Like, why weren't they like, William Jensen streaming? Let's host one of the people we're paying a bunch of money to and help them grow an audience. Have someone stream. You could not even streaming Modern, just streaming Magic. Just pick one.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
I don't buy the other ones would be upset. That's silly. Yeah, but most games aren't directly paying the people streaming, right? Like, what the MPL is doing is different than a lot of it. I don't know why they're not hosting MPL streamers all the time either. To liability and beyond. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess I don't want to target this one. Actually, I want to target this one and not this one, right? And then 2. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I can Shivan Fire to kill the egg.
Every defeat is a new beginning.
Did I just set this to 1? I just set this to 1. Sorry, I wasn't counting. There were too many numbers on the screen. Loose. apologize. I mean, like, they obviously want them to be successful, right? That's why they're paying them piles of money. I mean, you could even put them on a rotation, Burn Pit. You could say, hey, after every major coverage thing, we're gonna rotate through all of y'all. And now we're at the portion of the game where it becomes painfully obvious that I have chosen to register Hydroid Krasis and they have not. Yeah, they could do that too. They could say whoever has the most or whoever has the least or some metric, or just put them on a rotary and let it go at random. Stop it, Burn Pit. You don't pay people 100K plus per year and then not help promote them at every opportunity. It's just silly. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. It's more than 75K a year. All of those players are invited to tournaments that have minimum payouts that guarantee way more than 75K per year. Like, all of those players are invited to the 4 arena things, right? Which each of those arena things are probably like a minimum 8 grand or so. So like that's an extra 30 grand or so off the top. And that's assuming they don't win any matches at those tournaments. So they get like over 100 grand assuming they don't win any matches. Those players are like likely gonna get more than that. Yeah, the expected value is more. Yeah, the min payout to the Invitational is 8 grand, and like those players are favorites to make the $250,000, right? As far as ramp decks go, that last match was a good example of like hitting a perfect mix of what we needed to be working, but I really feel like this just kind of struggles without the ability to have some kind of sweeper in it. Especially with like Expansion Explosion, I feel like the appeal of doing this versus just doing Wilderness Reclamation isn't quite there. So I don't know that I really have suggestions to fix this outside of either play more of a Gate Shell so you can play Gates Ablaze, or maybe play 4 color or just Bant so you can play the 5 mana sweeper to destroy all creatures. Yeah, something more Gates-like could be reasonable. But those are pretty drastic different directions to pull these in. Like, the only reasonable full sweeper we get in these colors is Star of Extinction. I think that's not quite good enough for what we're doing here. Yeah, I think the MPLs are favored over random grinders, Chalky. The random grinders, probably 1, were account sharing, and 2, were likely, just volume is important there too, right? All right, that's gonna be it for me for today. I'll be back tomorrow. I think I'm gonna run another long one again tomorrow, but I'm gonna be all done for today. So thanks everyone for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. with some Modern on Magic Online, and then we'll be doing Standard on Arena all day after that. So thanks for hanging out, folks. Remember, if you want more from me, you can find me on my website and my YouTube channel. Otherwise, I believe Matt is streaming, and I'm gonna give him a host.